Good morning, everyone. My name is Andrea Juhos, and I'm the managing partner of LHH in Hungary. And we are an outplacement firm, and we help people realize their career dreams. Today's discussion is going to be about my favorite topic, which is career change. We have three very distinguished guests here with us today who are big career changes. And I would like to discuss with them three main topics. The one is, why did they change their careers? The second is, what did it feel like? What was the process like? What were the emotions? What were the thoughts? And the last one is, what were the learning points? And whether they have any pieces of advice for anybody who is on the verge of changing his or her career. So I'm going to give the floor to our three distinguished guests now. And my first question is, please introduce yourself and say a few words about where you were and where you are now, and what was the reason behind your career change. Tom, can I ask you to start?
Absolutely. Hi, everyone. My name's Tom Caska. I'm a co-founder and CEO of a company called Aerologics in Sydney, Australia. I was an airline pilot for Qantas for many years, and I had a career-changing accident, breaking my neck, and lost my medical clearance, so I could no longer fly anymore.
Thank you. Linton?
Hi, good morning, and I'm Linton Foat, originally from Australia as well, but I've lived in the UK for quite a long time. I grew up on a sheep farm, always loved technology, and found that getting involved in engineering was my passion, but underlying that, I always wanted to be a pilot as well. I was very lucky. I got married to a very supportive wife who helped me through flight school and joined a holiday airline in the UK, taking people off to sunny climes, to beaches, and it was a wonderful career. So that's kind of where I started, basically.
And where are you now?
So, as you probably are aware, the COVID-19 happened, but just before that, the company that I worked for, 178-year-old Thomas Cook, basically went into liquidation. It failed. And so that change that kind of happened to me was something that wasn't quite unexpected, but didn't go the way that we thought we would. So now I've had to move on. I explored sort of flying in another part of the world, but due to COVID, that sort of didn't work out either. So I guess through a number of things that have happened to me, I've had to realize perhaps I needed to take a different path in life. And so one of life's major stresses, losing your job, a career change was something that I had to really consider. So at the moment now, I'm working for a new startup company. It's still in aviation, which I think is really fortunate, but we're looking to do something really, really different. So I'm really excited about that opportunity and the ability to shape the future and the way that people travel around the regions.
Thank you very much. So as far as I understand, in your case, in Tom's case, it was a private reason because you had an accident. In Linton's case, your organization went into went into bankruptcy, I guess. What about you, Árpád? Is this something similar in your case?
No, very different. I'm a lawyer by background. Aviation law is what I studied and what I practiced in London. The aftermath of major accidents, so the insurance and liability aspects of commercial catastrophes. And I was on a contract. My most recent gig in the world of law was a contract with a company called Bird & Bird. And they hired me for one particular project. They were really busy at the very beginning, but then the work just dried up really, and my contract was not extended. And they put me in touch with basically one of their recruitment suppliers, a legal headhunting firm, basically with a view of me getting another long-term legal role, but that never really happened. They asked me if I would like to join them in the recruitment capacity. Well, at that time I didn't really have anything else, so I did, and turned out that I was successful in it. So basically I stayed, and then later transitioned into what I do today, which is executive search and leadership assessment, which is a very different sort of a path from aviation law.
Thank you. So going back to the change, when you decided to, or when you had to change your careers, did you know exactly what you wanted to do? or was it a process where you were experimenting, figuring out this and that, and then coming to a decision later on? Linton, what was it in your case?
So for me, I really loved what I did, and I felt like I was going to really miss that. But at the same time, I kind of realized perhaps there were things that hadn't been open to me. So seeing more of my kids, realizing sort of my conscience about the environment and how the role that aviation plays in that. So, it was all about, can I leverage the tech skills that I'd built up over the years through my experience in the past? I love working with people and being engaged every day. So I guess I was really open to options as to what came next, basically. And so I kind of cast my net wide and engaged with my network that I had to kind of find out what options were open to me, really.
I'm hearing two things which are really important: openness, and then using your network's experience and suggestions and so on. Tom, how about you?
Yeah, look, not being able to fly again was a huge shock. I had a pretty significant kitesurfing accident, breaking my neck, months and months, if not years of rehab. But look, it gave me a lot of time to reflect and do a lot of thinking about what else I could do, how I could transfer my skill set that I'd learned over so many years being a pilot. And I came to realize that I had a lot of different skills, from people management to really good communication skills. I use that every day in the cockpit. Lots of project management skills as well. So I got to transfer these skills into different areas, and I went down an entrepreneurial path and founded quite a big tech company, and which has been really satisfying, and I really enjoyed it.
Thank you, and especially I'm very grateful for you mentioning transferable skills and transferable competencies, because I think this is very important in the process of changing your careers. Árpád, how about you? If I understand well, in your case, it was by accident that you landed at an executive search firm.
Yeah, it was. It wasn't planned at all. In fact, the reason why I went into that job is because I was hoping that I'm going to be able to sell myself to another law firm, but that never happened. The job itself was very different because it's hardcore sales. You are in the business of selling your services, and of course, in a law firm, it's a much more back office sort of thing. I didn't think about it too much. I needed a job, Andrea, and basically I went for it. So basically, I finished at the law firm on one Friday, and I started on a Monday, something like that, basically. So I didn't think about it at all. Basically, that was my sort of process.
But what I'm hearing from your story is experimenting. You said, okay, let's try it and let's see. Okay, exactly. And I think that's also...
Yeah, you just have to have the guts to do something to get from A to B, basically, and that was, in my case, that was the...
Exactly, completely agree. Now, let's go back, let's go one step forward and talk about the emotions, because I think changing your careers, it provokes a lot of emotions, and it might be the emotion of being very self-confident. It might be anxiety, it might be fear of the uncertain. So what were the feelings that you felt at the time? Tom, we'll give you the floor again.
Sure. Yeah, look, obviously having lots of uncertainty and losing a sense of self and identity. Being an airline pilot every day, you put on your uniform and your 4 bars if you're a captain, get on the aircraft, and you're recognized in society as you're this professional. You have that confidence, that sense of identity, and when that's all taken away from you, it can be really unsettling and can certainly take some time to build up that sense of self again. So for me, I started really doing a lot of self-discovery work and getting into lots of other things. I did a lot of volunteering actually as part of experimenting and getting out and doing new things. I found that helped a lot. I went over to Africa and spent half a year over there working in charities and things, and that helped build up my self-confidence again and my own identity as a person.
Thank you. Árpád, how about you?
It was difficult because I have a master's degree in aviation law, and basically when you invested so much time and money, really, then you have to, and then you go into something that doesn't require that, then it felt a little bit like, am I wasting this? Is this really the right path? But then I quickly got out of contingency recruitment, which is of course incredibly salesy, and then got into search, which is more strategic. And then I've been focusing on the aviation, aerospace, and the broader transportation markets. So still continuing the aviation thread, but in a very different context. So it's I think disappointing myself a little bit, or disappointing my I don't know, parents, anyone, like relatives, anyone who really just thought that I'm one thing and I turned out to be another one. Basically, that's that was my thought or feelings, basically.
Yeah. Linton, how about you? Did you feel the same emotions?
Yeah, I really identify with what Tom and Arpad's saying. You know, basically a feeling of loss. You know, it's a major life stressor when you have you lose a loved one or you have a career change. So that, you know, if anybody's going through that right now, believe me, you're not alone. We all feel that. We're all human. We have to go through that kind of that loss, that coming to terms with things and then moving on to the next thing. And that takes time. You know, you can't, that's not going to happen overnight. So I really identify with Tom doing volunteer stuff. I've thrown myself back into scouting and organizations that I can just use my time productively. I've tried to do some online courses, free stuff that's been available to me, and, you know, just tried to understand my feelings and deal with them, talk to my friends and work through it. And I guess with COVID, it's been something that we're all sharing, actually, because there's change going on everywhere. As pilots, we're used to change. You know, every day we go to work, something's generally different, but this is a kind of major life change, which is really one of those things you need to kind of just understand that, you know, it's not easy and it will take time. You will work through it, but, you know, if you believe you can, then, or you believe you can't, then you're going to be right. So you just need to have that positive mindset and sort of focus on where you're going to go. But the same with Árpád. You know, I spent my whole life in aviation and built up to wanting to be a pilot, to be a captain, to fly internationally. And I was in my dream job, and to have that kind of taken away from you, it wasn't anything that I'd done wrong, but that's life, and things happen, and you have to then stay responsive and be ready for the next thing. And I guess that is what aviation perhaps has taught a lot of us as pilots, is you have to be resilient. You know, things are going to go wrong, and that's what pilots are pretty good at, actually, is kind of understanding what options do I have now and generating those next options. So all I would say is that, you know, whilst you are in the career that you're at, if you're thinking about a change or something else, then start developing those other key competencies or other things that you can take with you elsewhere. And you don't lose that empathy. You don't lose those tech skills that you built up. You don't, you know, you can be a good active listener and be kind of an all-rounder if that's what you are. You know, you just enhance those things, but sort of realize that you can offer other things to other employers and not just the place that you've been. And the problem with people in airlines, I guess, is we get a little bit institutionalized. We have those golden handcuffs and kind of like, we've been in a career, it's where we wanted to be, it's always what we are. And because of the seniority system, we tend to stay where we've been. Whereas I guess perhaps lawyers and other people that can translate around their industry a lot easier. It's for people in aviation, it's just that bit harder because of the nature that it's a close-knit community. Everybody knows one another. So, you know, it's just that little bit harder to be portable, but it's not impossible. You know, you've just got to search out that new opportunity.
Linton mentioned previously that you mentioned that you're very grateful to your wife because of the support that she gave you while you went to the pilot school. And so I guess that you got that support from your family and friends while you were changing careers too. But I have this question to Tom and Árpád too. What were the reactions of your family, your friends, your parents when you mentioned to them that, okay, so this is what I was and this is what I want to be, or this is what I have to be because I can't continue my job anymore? Tom, what was your experience in this field?
Yeah, look, I think with me, I went through some, you know, significant trauma with an accident. It was when I was sort of back on my feet and exploring other avenues. I had a lot of support, really strong network of friends, family, things like that. So look, highly supportive of whatever I was doing. They obviously knew that I was going to, you know, miss flying and miss my career. I went back and did some study as well, and studied an MBA at university, and I actually met my business partner there. So that was one of the best things I've ever done. And went from there. But look, having strong support networks is really important. But obviously, people will still ask me to this day, "Oh, do you miss flying? Would you go back?" and all that sort of stuff. I mean, I studied it and did it for so many years, but I'm quite happy where I am now, and I think my family and friends recognise that.
Thank you very much. How about you, Árpád? Did you get the support from your environment?
Yeah, and I needed it a lot, to be honest with you, because I was going from a back office sort of role to something which was very target driven, very salesy. And I really needed it because I had a lot of knockbacks and I didn't know if it's going to work out really. I mean, until you make your first page placement or second or third, you just don't know if it's going to work out. And I think in the first sort of 6 months, parents, family were really like hoping that I'm going to get back to what I studied and what I invested really my whole life in. But then when they saw that it's working out, that it's not a dead end, I think that's when they really I got the buy-in from them. But it took some time, to be honest with you. It's not from one day to another kind of.
Didn't happen overnight.
No,
okay.
no.
I want to go back a little bit to Linton's idea when you said that because of COVID in the past a little longer than 1 year, we have all been feeling a fear of uncertainty. We don't know when this is going to end. We don't know what happens to our jobs and so on. And that's the same thing when you are changing your careers. And I want to ask you if you all felt that. I'm sure you all did. What were your tools or practices to help you with this fear of uncertainty or fear or anxiety? Do you have any tips to people who are undergoing the same process? Tom, you're nodding your head, so I'm sure you do.
Yeah, look, I combated fear and anxiety with a real lot of exercise. I got right into cycling, and I became very religious at doing a lot of exercise all the time, and that really helped me and getting some structure back into my life when it seemed like everything was ruined or it was very disjointed. I'm like, right, well, I've been an airline pilot. I've been so used to so much structure, and I put a lot of structure back in my life. But exercise, meditation, reading a lot, and connecting with lots of like-minded people certainly helped me on my journey.
Thank you very much. Árpád, did you have anything else that helped you on your path?
Very similar. All what Tom did is true, and that's what I've been doing as well. But I think surrounding yourself really with people who have been through something similar, or because it can get really lonely, especially in a COVID type of situation where you really you're just stuck at home. Basically, I think whether it's over Zoom or meeting someone in the park, I think that you can really share properly and be honest. I think that's incredibly important, because doing this all on your own and being together with your thoughts all the time is just not healthy. So that would be my top tip, to really just surround yourself with people who are properly supportive, because it really matters.
Thank you. Linton, anything else that you might want to add?
Yeah, I recognize the exercise thing. It's releasing those happy chemicals, that endorphin, in your brain, to get you in a better frame of mind. Just getting out from the house, from that environment that you will spend a lot of time in. And for me, I embraced art a little bit. There's a guy called Charles Mackesy in the UK who wrote a book, and he was very inspirational in some of the quotes and some of the artwork that he did. So I realized I'd written a kid's book, and I was waiting for someone to help me illustrate. And I just thought, look, I'm just going to give this a go. Why not? And I kind of published it to family and friends, and that was a great way just to connect with sort of some of my creative side, some of the things that I'd not done in the past. So that just have a go at something else, basically, is I guess what I can say. Don't be afraid of failure. Failure is always a great learning process, and we're all on that road, aren't we? We are competent at things. We like to stay in our comfort zone, but right now, when there's adversity, that's when that opportunity happens, and that's the time when you should try something new, because what have you got to lose in that point in time? So I just encourage people to just have a go. Just get out there and try.
Thank you. We are at the end of our discussion, and I would like to ask you to do me one thing. Let's imagine that I want to make a big career change in my life. What would be the most important piece of advice that you would each give me before I start my journey? Tom, can I add?
Yeah, believing in yourself with 100% certainty. So if you don't believe in yourself, nobody will, and it's what you project and what you believe in. That is, I think, in my opinion, the most important thing.
Thank you. Linton?
Yeah, but, celebrate the past, but look forward to the future. Don't dwell on the past. It's happened. Put it behind you, close that door, and look at all the opportunities in front of you, because, actually you might discover something that you didn't even realize was there and might be the next best thing. So open yourself up to new opportunities.
Fantastic. Thank you. Árpád?
I think the single most important thing that makes all the difference is actually doing things. There's a lot of people who are talking and dreaming about things, but not actually doing it or trying it. I think what Linton's and Tom's story illustrates is that these guys have really went out and went for it and did it, experimented basically, and I think it's just that's how you can get from A to B. That's the only way, really. So.
Thank you very much. Well, gentlemen, you made me want to change my career, because you have been so inspirational. Thank you very much. And I'm sure there's people in Hungary and outside of Hungary who are going to listen to our discussion will get a lot of inspiration and hope from what you have achieved. So I wish you lots of success in your life, both personal and professional. And thank you for being with us here today. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thanks.